So we're going to go to the woods today to relax and calm down, and using our imagination, this guided imageries, that you have your own personal image of your most relaxing place you could ever imagine in the woods. And you can think about first just entering the woods and maybe setting an intention before you go on your little woodland hike here, and just coming into self here and taking a breath and thinking of what kind of intention, something you want to focus on the whole time that you're going into this beautiful woods, and sort of a walking meditation and connection time of trying to funnel in whatever it is that you want. It could be anything, anyone, relationship, something material, something physical, something spiritual, something energetic. Could be anything that you're focusing on that you really want in your life right now. And we'll relax the face, get the body relaxed while we're sort of keeping this intention in mind. What is it that you want? And we'll relax the forehead and the eyelids. Tell your brain to relax the forehead and eyelids and feel a little shift in the muscles in your forehead when you do that. Your brain can tell your muscles to relax. And now you may not even notice it, but see if you can relax your jaw with your brain telling your muscles to relax. Feel how relaxed your mouth is, and relax the muscles in the tongue, the root of the tongue, and notice even more relaxation in the mouth. And now relax the muscles on the sides of your lips and feel your face relax even more, because you just gave the cue from your brain to your body to release tension in this part of your body. And now, using your brain to tell the muscles in your neck to relax and release. See if you feel a little shift in your neck, because your brain said, it's okay, I don't have to be clenching anything right now. Even in my neck, I can let go, I can release. I'm being totally supported by pillows. I'm weighted down, I'm not going to fly off. I'm totally relaxed and releasing tension now down into the shoulders. And then feeling your back release and fan out. The muscles soften. And relaxing your arms. They're also being supported, and the weight on them is relaxing. And on your chest and belly, feeling the weight of your blanket holding you down and helping you to release the muscles. And just relaxing the hips and legs. Any tension you might have just had your glute muscles clenched together and didn't know it. And just give the signal to relax. You are supported. And you're being held down. You're just being held. Feeling your legs. A nice little bend in the knee. The heels relaxed on the floor and the feet with the weight on top of them, just keeping you still. And loving this relaxing, weighted stillness. And now we'll go into the woods here to attain whatever our heartfelt intention is. What it is that we really want. And just imagining these are like magical woods, that if you go for a walk through these woods, just observing what's around you and keeping that little heartfelt intention in your mind and your heart and your emotions, thinking how much you would love to have this in your life, and that possibly when you walk out of the woods, it's yours. But you first get to go through the magical woods, focusing on what it is that you really want and having this knowing that you're going to get it. And so let's just take a deep breath in and smell the woods, smell the earth, the rich soil, and the clean air. Think of how clean the air must be around the woods. They call it forest bathing when you walk through the forests and you don't say anything. You just bathe in the beauty of the woods, all the sounds, stepping on little twigs or pine needles and hearing them crunch under your feet. You really have to watch where you're stepping. You might have to walk over a log or around a little puddle or something. And so you're very mindful of walking when you're in the woods. And our senses are a little heightened a lot of times because little animals might dart by or a little bird might fly close, checking you out. And just whenever you see a beautiful little plant, you can imagine you took either your camera or a sketch pad or an identification book, or just to hold it in your hands. You bend over to look at a special plant, a fern. I'm thinking how cool they are that they can grow in basically shade, because the trees around you are so tall and creating so much shade and protection. And just really being in the moment of these woods. As you start walking down a good path, you find a good trail, and you can walk without having to look down all the time. But you can just take it in nice and slow during your walking meditation and be in this moment in the woods. And you can see yourself looking around in the woods with a free neck. Your neck feels so free and loose as you're looking up and around. And your body feels so good if you bend over to pick something up, a pretty rock or a neat looking twig. And your body just feels so good and so flexible and strong as you're walking through these beautiful woods and just experiencing all the beautiful little ads on the woods. If you just look at the dirt and then the add on little pine needles and then add on leaves and add on little bushes and add on berries and ferns and tall grasses. I remember some woods that were behind a place that I stayed at a yoga retreat, and we did forest bathing and we weren't allowed to say anything. And just take it in. They don't really like you to take in a phone or a camera either. They just want you to really be in the moment. And as I walked through the woods, I came across little church pews and a wooden cross. They have church up there in the woods. And the pews were made with logs that were split in half and setting on top of little tree stumps. And it was sort of on a little cliff, and off in the cliff below was the Puget Sound in Washington. And these trees were tall, and they were red wood, and it was so twisty and gnarly, and the sticks were just so beautiful looking, how they had burls on them, and that the wood was so red. And there were bushes that had really tall stems with little stickers coming out, little thorns all the way up, kind of like a rose, but smaller, hairier stick, really pokey, really sharp, with little red berries on them. And I actually saw holly, which is a beautiful little plant. And I saw heather, which I think was the prettiest of all. And so just imagine you're walking through the woods, and you're feeling this peacefulness that the woods bring to you. And you come across, hanging from 2 trees, a hammock. And you climb into this big balanced hammock. It's so relaxing to get into this. It's not like a squeeze you like a banana hammock. It's you can spread out and your arms can be supported, and it's a nice big wide hammock. And you test its strength, and it's okay. It's going to hold you, and you get in and you get comfortable in the middle. You get your body all settled and make sure you feel nice and balanced and supported, yet weightless. You're floating, and your arms are held and your arms are open, and just feeling your legs relaxed in this hammock as it slightly swinging from you still getting in, and you sort of use some muscles to sway your body back and forth and just get a little rock going in this hammock. And once you feel all settled and you're just sort of slowly swaying back and forth and enjoying this rocking feeling in your body, you relax enough to look up. And these trees are so tall, so gorgeous. And they're holding you. They're holding you on the hammock. And you're just taking it in. You can see up at the top, they're moving. There's wind up there, but you feel none in these protected trees, this thick woods. And then you start taking in the colors. You can see the blue of the sky up above you. A couple of little wispy clouds, but you can't see much of the sky because the trees are so tall and surrounding that you don't see much of the sky here in the woods. And for those of us from these wide open spaces, it's kind of a cozy feeling, and we like it, but we probably like our big open spaces more. But this is an interesting change, and soak it in as you're rocking back and forth in your hammock, being supported by 2 trees. And you just notice the trunks of these trees that are holding you. They're big around the bottom. They're so strong and old, you know they gotta be over 100 years old, how big and tall they are. And you just notice the bark on your trees. Notice any carving, like M plus S equals a heart or whatever you see. Or just a big gnarl with maybe some sap coming out, dried up, but gold. You knew it would be sticky if you touched it. I'm looking up at the branches. They don't start till quite a bit higher up on the tree. And just noticing the branches as they're going over you and out to the sides, all around them. Noticing the leaves or the pine needles, whatever type of tree you're looking at. Noticing each of the leaves or each of the needles. Watching sunlight shine through them just every now and then, because you're swaying still, you're still rocking, and sometimes the light goes through and then through the other ones. And just feeling your face relaxed and your neck relaxed and your shoulders and your back. Sending total release as you soak in this moment, thinking, oh, I could really be doing a lot of other things, but it is so good to take some time, especially in nature, and just be. And just really be there in the moment with what is going on. And as you're relaxing in the hammock and soaking in the sounds and the smells, you close your eyes and you go inside of you and just keep feeling the rocking. You keep feeling the air on your face and arms and legs. And you go back to that heartfelt intention because you're so relaxed now. And you've emptied your mind from the hubbub. You go back to what you were focusing on for your journey into the woods, of what it is that you really want. And maybe you come to the realization that whatever you want or need is inside of you. You realize that you made the choice to sit in the hammock and enjoying it so much that you could make the choice for whatever it is that you wanted and enjoy it. Knowing that you can create whatever you want. But sometimes you just need to unplug from the rest of what filters into us and let that go. That does not limit us. We are unlimited beings. We can do and create and have and experience and enjoy whatever it is we really want. And just knowing that you're the one that creates your life. You have the choice and the power. And as you're laying there in your hammock with your eyes closed, but just taking in the sounds, using your peripheral senses all around you. Your ears are open, and you're taking it in. And you realize this, that you are this creator of your life, of whatever you want. And you let that just soak into you. You had just created that moment. You had walked to the woods. You had sat in the hammock and you enjoyed the feeling that it gave you to rock and sway in the middle of the air here. That you could do that with everything. And just being very much at peace with this knowing and understanding. And finding a stopping point in your rocking and just sit and be still. And listen a little more to all the sounds. Feeling the air, feeling it on your face. And feeling the temperature. Smelling the smells. That great clean air. And just enjoying the life in the woods, knowing all those plants are alive. Even the dead ones underneath are decomposing and helping these new ones to grow. There's so much energy going on around you. The trees are creating a new ring each year. Inside their trunks, they're growing and expanding. The roots are reaching down to get nourishment and water. And they're bringing that up, they're pulling it up into the trunks, into the branches, into the leaves. How much life is going on inside of one tree that is changing carbon dioxide into oxygen, and the photosynthesis of the sun and the chlorophyll in the leaves, the color, the green, everything that's going on in just this tree, the life. That's just one of the trees. And realizing all this life and energy is surrounding you right now. Growth, decomposing, fertilizing, nourishing, growing, going through life where the leaves fall off of the trees and just float down to the earth and rot and decompose and help with the cycle of life again. Just imagining you see a leaf floating down from a tree, and it's spiraling. It's going very slow, floaty spiral, round and round. It's very dry. It's like a feather floating down. It's not a big, heavy, wet leaf. It's a dried up old leaf that served its time in the air, and now it's time to serve its time on the ground. And seeing other leaves floating around and coming down in this pretty little spiraling dance, just watching them land on top of each other, holding each other. A big pile of leaves that you could walk through and kick your legs and make a little path. So you want to get out of your hammock and go and do this. This looks like fun. This is a choice you're making. Getting back to being childlike and just go kick some leaves around and hear the sounds and feel the feeling of the leaves against your shins. And just loving the feeling. Of being childlike, of kicking leaves. The crunching sound, the rattling sound. And feeling like you must be getting close to a little creek. You can hear the water. And it'd be nice to go watch the water in the woods trickling down and knowing that this water is nourishing the woods, soaking through the riverbed. And all those trees' roots are pointing that direction. They're all reaching for that water over there. And it's so pretty. There's even some logs that are tipped over in the water that you could walk on to get to the other side. They're big ones. Looks like a lot of people and animals have done this before you. There's a trail right to the log and from the log on the other side. And so you get on and you feel very safe. Your balance is amazing. And it's big enough that you could sit down on and dangle your feet into the water, and knowing that this tree is supporting you and not going anywhere. And you just stop right in the middle of this creek, on top of this nice log that's laying down for you to cross on. And it's big enough to easily sit down and get back up on again. It's a big tree. And just watching what goes through the water, seeing moss on the rocks underneath, just flowing like hair over the rocks and flowing with the water. Seeing a leaf come down the creek like a little boat. Seeing the bubbles closer to the edges, little foam. And loving the sound of this creek. Such a great water source coming from snow melt off and springs from inside the mountain. Such good water. A good looking fish just went by. Would have been fun to try to catch him, but it was nice to just watch him. He blended in almost perfectly with those rocks. And you just kind of wanted to see a fish, so you get up and you walk on to the other side of this log, over to the path on the other side. And it looks like up ahead that the woods are thinning out, and that if you stay on this path, you know you'll get out. So you just are going to soak this in a little bit and not miss it. You want to be able to take this lovely experience in the woods with you, of being protected, feeling and safe and surrounded by good natural energy. And just seeing big rocks with moss growing on them, lichen. Some of the trees that are laying down have mushrooms growing on them, and moss, and beautiful plants coming up from the rotting wood where it's touching the ground. It's all so rich and nourishing for the earth, and beautiful little flowers and baby mushrooms. Love that. You hear a thud crunch sound coming, but it's not scaring you. You know it's an animal. And just then a deer crosses the path ahead of you, but stops because it sees you too. And just stops and looks at you, those big, beautiful eyes, and the ears kind of going all different directions, trying to figure out what are you. And you see the deer sniffing and its nostrils flaring as it's trying to just take you in, see what you are, and feel your energy. Are you safe, or are you a threat to this deer? It stays for quite a while checking you out, which is nice because you're checking out the deer. And then thud, crunch, thud, crunch, thud, crunch. It takes off. And you just felt this magical moment of sharing space and time with this deer. Everything else was out of your mind. All you could take in at this moment was this encounter with this beautiful, harmless animal that was just minding his own business, and you were just minding yours, and you stopped and looked at each other and moved on. It made you smile. That was beautiful. Just a special little moment. And you see some squirrels running up and down the trees and chattering with each other. And seeing their big bushy tails flick around as they spin their body and run back up the tree. And it's like they're talking to you too. They come back down and look at you. They stretch their little chin out, and all their fingers are hanging on to the tree, and then they turn around and scurry and go back up. And you see little chipmunks running around, their stripy little bodies on the logs that are laying on the ground, just being busy, just stopping and grabbing stuff with their hands and shoving it in their mouths and take off running down the log again. They're so cute. They're so speedy. And you just love hearing all these different birds that you don't normally hear at home. They really rely on the woods for their life. Back by the creek, you can hear some frogs or something, frogs or toads, whatever's making that noise. You're hearing frogs. Love that sound. And as you're making your way through these woods and seeing the animals, and you got to see a fish and hear these great birds and feel the energy of the woods alive. And it was like cleaning your filter. It was like helping you to breathe better and helping you to relax and calm down so that you can run smoother when you get back out there to the world of your everyday life. And as you're getting close to the clearing, you turn back around and you look at the woods and you thank it for this special time of helping you to relax your body and relax your mind and to connect with nature and to overall calm you. And as you're walking out of the forest, you see your heartfelt intention again. You connect with it. and you see that it is very easy to attain. This is very doable. It is coming to you. You set the intention. You relaxed your body. You relaxed your mind. You came into the moment. And just as if you threw a penny into a wishing well, as you come out of these woods, you know that your wish is going to come true. Your heartfelt intention is more than just a wish. It is a firm agreement that this is what you want. You're very specific about it. You know just how to describe it bit by bit of how it's going to make you feel when you have this. And this is the most important part, is how would you feel with having this in your life? And it feels good. All angles of it feel right. And you smile as you break out of the woods all the way. You can actually turn around and look back and see where they start again if you turned around. Or you can think of it as the end of where you just came from. But just knowing that you could go to the woods to clear your mind and relax your body and tune in to energy and feel it flow through your life to have whatever it is that you want. Sometimes you just need to connect again, get that signal strong of being this creator in your life of whatever it is you want. Physical, mental, spiritual, energetically, material, whatever it is you want, you can have it. And you be good with that and realizing that it's not being greedy. It's just experiencing the life you want, because this is your life. For you to make yourself happy, for you to learn these wonderful things. And it's just part of your earth schooling on this trip around and enjoying it. It's kind of like a game. And you get to win. You can win early in the game and be a winner the whole rest of your life. And feeling on top of the world. This is awesome. And then coming back into this room, coming back into where you are during this meditation. What's in the room around you? What do you feel on top of your body right now? Your blankets, your eye pillow. Just feeling what you're feeling in this moment right now. And hearing what you're hearing in this moment right now. And thinking about your heartfelt intention already on its way to becoming true, because you are your own creator. And you just did a really good job of planting a seed in the forest to grow whatever it is you want in your creation forest, where you can create whatever you want. And becoming a little more aware and deepening your breath here, just awake and aware in a deep breath. Coming back into this moment, here in your space. And we'll start to wiggle our fingers and our toes, coming alive and stretching. Nice stretch. And when you're ready, you'll roll onto your right side. And you keep your eyes closed because the room is bright. Just let your eye pillow fall off, but keep your eyes closed. And when you rise up, you'll shed your blankets, you'll shed anything that's not serving you, and just say, I'm starting fresh and new.